Hey everybody, welcome to Hashing It Out. I'm Jordan with the Nervos Foundation, and today I'm welcoming Chester Chen, who's the research lead at UTXO Stack. Chester, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you, Jordan?
I'm doing very good. I'm doing very good, and I'm excited about what we're going to be talking about today. And we're going to be talking about UTXO Stack, everything about it, and including some of the upcoming airdrop promotions that are about to be launched. So this should be a really interesting thing. But before we get started, of course, I have to go through the same disclaimers that I always say at the top of every show because this is live. We're not going to be talking about the price today in any way, shape, or form. If you ask questions about the price, I'm sorry, got to ignore them. Number two, we're not going to be talking about future things like exchanges and things that are confidential information. And number three, all of the opinions expressed today on the program are of the individuals, not of the Nervos Foundation. So we're live right now on YouTube and Twitter. But if you want to participate in the chat room, we recommend YouTube because it's a lot easier just in our interfaces to see what's going on. If you post on Twitter, I will do my best to look for your questions, but past history has shown I'm pretty bad at it because it's just hard to keep track of too many windows at once. So we encourage anybody, if you have any questions, go ahead, ask them at any point in time, and we'll try to address them on the stream if we can. Again, if you ask them on YouTube, you're much more likely to get an answer. So anyway, let's get right into this because I know we have a lot of stuff to talk about. So Chester, can you give us first off just an introduction for anybody who's not really familiar with UTXO? What exactly is UTXO Stack?
Okay. UTXO Stack is a decentralized liquidity staking layer for Bitcoin Lightning Network, and it is designed to address current problems of the Lightning Network, such as the lack of stable coin support and liquidity shortages and the onboarding barriers. Our mission is to enhance the Lightning Network's usability as a global payment system and drive its broader adoption.
Right. So I think most people at this point are probably familiar with Lightning Network since it's been out for quite some time. It's part of the Bitcoin ecosystem. It's considered to be a layer two, and it uses channel-based technologies. And really, what this means is that it takes a lot of the actions off of the blockchain, and these two channels it's peer-to-peer more or less. These two people communicate to one another to agree upon things, which is ultimately settled by the blockchain. But most of the actions are off the blockchain, so it goes much faster and it's much cheaper. I know I'm just going through this very quickly, but I just want to make sure that everybody in the audience, that you guys all understand what we're talking about on the very base layer. So let's go into now a little bit about what Chester, what you just mentioned about some of the things that you're actually trying to solve. Let's talk about liquidity first, because we know that Lightning Network's been around quite some time. Do you know how long Chester has been out now?
Lightning Network, as I know, the white paper of the Lightning Network was first published in 2015, and the first testnet transaction happened in 2016, and the mainnet launched in 2017. So it has been over 7 years since the launch of the mainnet of the Lightning Network. Yeah.
Right. So it's been out quite some time. It was highly anticipated, and we know that they still have significant problems of getting people on board and getting liquidity onto Lightning Network, which makes it more of a problem to use, especially if you were trying to move around a lot of money. So, Chester, do you have any idea? Could you tell us why, since it's been so long and this has been a very obvious problem, why hasn't it been solved?
Currently, there are three main problems that the Lightning Network are facing. First is the lack of stablecoin support. Nowadays, you can only pay in Bitcoin in the Lightning Network transactions. There are no stable coins, but this is a huge problem because people don't want to spend their Bitcoin. The price of Bitcoin is likely to keep rising, so most people would rather hold it, would hold it rather than spend it. So it deters a lot of people from using the Lightning Network. And the second problem is the liquidity shortage, because when you send a transaction in the Lightning Network, you need to build a channel with the receiver, and you need to have assets in the channel between you and your receiver. It's like water in the canal. If you've got no water in the canal, then the transportation cannot happen in the canal. Nowadays, the problem is that the liquidity is not sufficient, and it's hard to manage the liquidity. For example, if you build channels with multiple people, and sometimes you need to move the asset in the first channel to, say, the second channel, and it's hard to manage. There's no efficient way to manage the liquidity. And the last problem is onboarding barrier, because when you come to use Lightning Network, first you need to set up a channel, and it can take as much as say $1.5 for you to first set up a channel, even when the network is not that busy. It could be even higher if the network is busy. So
yeah, I actually think the time I set up a channel, I believe it cost me $7.
Okay.
So it was quite expensive. But yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. This is another thing that deters average users to come to use the Lightning Network. Yeah, these are the three main problems we think that the Lightning Network is facing today.
I see. And so, would you say that the onboarding problem, is that what the primary reason that the liquidity problem exists?
Onboarding problem.
Yeah, what I'm saying is it's difficult and expensive to onboard into Lightning Network, and is that, in your opinion, is that the reason why there's not enough liquidity in Lightning Network?
Yeah, I think so. That might be a reason why there's not much liquidity. And I think so the liquidity problem in the Lightning Network has been there for a very long time, and there are some solutions right now. For example, some big node operators or Lightning service providers, they provide liquidity, kind of a service, kind of like the liquidity leasing service. So if you want liquidity in your Lightning channel, you can borrow from them. But we think that this kind of leasing model is not efficient. We can draw an analogy with exchange. the current leasing model is like the order book. It's like the order book model. So it works, but it's not as efficient as the AMM model, the atomic market making. So what we are trying to do is to build an AMM model of liquidity leasing in the Lightning Network ecosystem, and we introduce a decentralized liquidity staking pool, which is short for DLSP, and all the users can stake their assets like Bitcoin, CKB, or stable coins into this pool, and the assets in this pool then can be rented to the Lightning node operators. And the Lightning nodes, they provide routing service for the transactions, and they charge a small amount of fee. Then the liquidity providers, those who stake their assets into the DLSP, can earn yields generated from the transaction fee. Yeah, it's like a positive cycle, and everyone in this cycle can get benefits. Yeah, that's a model we are proposing.
Right. So anybody can stake liquidity, and then this actually provides more liquidity into Lightning Network, making it more useful in the first place. So I have a question about the stablecoin support. Now, this one, it seems very obvious to me that stablecoins would be a huge benefit to something like Lightning Network, because as we know, when almost everybody, especially in the United States, is paying their bills of any kind, they're using USD as the basis, and they're still transacting in USD. Generally, even within the crypto community, we don't like to spend our crypto too much because the price is usually appreciating. And so when we go to the grocery store, we go to the gas station, we pay our rent, we pay taxes, we pay anything we pay with, we're always paying with USD. It seems to make sense that something like this would exist on any payment network, just like you pay with a credit card. Like, why couldn't you do it with Lightning Network? So the question is, like, this is so useful. Why is it that Lightning Network doesn't support stablecoins today?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it's because originally the Bitcoin chain is not Turing complete, and it does not have smart contract capabilities. So it is very difficult technically to build a whole infrastructure to enable token issuance on the Bitcoin chain. And last year, there was a team who announced that they can issue tokens in the Lightning Network. But after the announcement, nothing new actually happened. So I think there must be still some technical issues blocking them from issuing tokens in the Lightning Network. Yeah, this is why over so many years, people don't see any tokens that can truly be issued in the Bitcoin chain. And What we our way to solve this issue is to introduce a hybrid Lightning Network, which is a combination of the Lightning Network and the fiber network. The fiber network is an implementation of the Lightning Network on the Nervos CKB. And as we all know, the Nervos CKB is a Turing complete chain, and it has smart contract capabilities. So it's very easy to issue tokens, including stable coins on Nervos CKB. Then, if we've got a stable coin on CKB, then we've got stable coin on the fiber network. Then because the fiber network and the Lightning Network, they are seamlessly integrated together as a hybrid Lightning Network, so we can use stablecoin in such a hybrid Lightning Network. That is how we solve the problem of stablecoin support. Yeah.
Right. So on Bitcoin, it is not Turing complete, and that has been done on purpose. They favor security over functionality, but that's inherently limiting to what you can actually develop, which is why CKB comes in as a Bitcoin layer 2, which has that Turing completeness built in. And with fiber networking, connect directly to fiber can connect directly to Lightning, meaning that a fiber network user can send directly to a Lightning network user in real time. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so the two are completely compatible with each other and effectively creating another layer of functionality that's now being implemented for Lightning users. So let's talk a little bit about some of the key features of UTXO Stack, specifically the ones that users need to know about. Now, the first one, the decentralized liquidity staking pool you mentioned. Can you tell us why that's a significant innovation?
Yeah, because as I said, we want to introduce such an AMM model into the Lightning Network to solve the liquidity problem. So we want to build a decentralized liquidity staking pool, the DLSP. Users can stake their assets like Bitcoin, CKB, or stable coins into the pool. And the money in the pool can be leased out to liquidity node operators. These nodes, they provide routing service for the transactions in the Lightning Network, and they charge a fee. Then the fee then can flow back to the DLSP. Liquidity providers can earn yields generated from these fees. So it is a positive cycle, and everyone in this cycle can benefit. And I want to point out that it's a very good way to earn passive income if you stake your assets into the DLSP, because the yield comes from the transaction fees. It's not investment revenue or some kind of interest. It is service fees that because the nodes, they provide routing service and the users pay service fees. So it's very solid, and it's solid, and it's a very good way to earn passive income.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can see that being a very attractive option. So I have one question with the decentralized liquidity staking pool. is this something that is specifically tied into Fiber and Lightning, or will DeFi developers be able to tap into this liquidity for other applications as well?
Yeah, that's a good question. Currently, we have no plan to allow other DeFi protocols to utilize the liquidity within the DLSP. But maybe in the future there will be such interoperability between our DLSP and other DeFi protocols. Yeah, we can stay tuned and to see what will happen in the future. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Let's take a quick look at some of the messages that have come in here. And first one from James Hall: is that a Palmyra T-shirt? Yes, it is. Thank you for noticing. And then let's see. James also asks, do you see this being adopted organically, or will this require a certain level of promotion? I mean, I could see it as both. What do you think, Chester?
Yeah, I think it will be both adopted organically and require some promotion. And our marketing team are doing a great job to promote our products. And because we provide some benefits to our users, as I just mentioned, if you become a staker of the DLSP, you earn passive income. So it will also get adopted organically.
Yeah, absolutely. So James Hall again. The Bitcoin community is typically very closed to outside projects, especially ones that can also benefit other projects. I don't know. What's your opinion on that, Chester?
Let me see. Bitcoin community. One that can also benefit other projects. I don't know what the question is.
It's more of just a comment. He's asking, the Bitcoin community is very closeted outside projects, meaning there's a lot of maximalists that don't want to do anything else. I'll give my opinion on that is that this was absolutely true, especially a few years ago, but we've seen much more increasing levels of Bitcoin community people that have changed their minds, basically, and the biggest, I think the biggest sign of that was actually inscriptions, where it boomed. It made a huge impact, and there was clearly a lot of demand for inscriptions, which was something that was previously completely ignored and only available on other chains. So I personally think that there is demand there. It's not always as apparent. But Chester, I'd like to know your thoughts. Do you feel any differently about that?
Yeah. I think people in the Bitcoin may view something in different ways. For example, as you just mentioned, the inscriptions, BRC20, these kind of token issuing. Some people don't like this kind of token issuance method, but some people are just they like the emergence. They like this kind of new tokens like BRC20 that emerge in the Bitcoin ecosystem. Yeah. People can always have different opinions over the same thing. Yeah.
Right. And I think that's true of pretty much every ecosystem. But the Bitcoin ecosystem is a gigantic one. So there's a lot of both. I think it's fair to say. Let's move on to zero cost channel opening. So that's another very important feature of UTXO Stack. Can you tell us how does that actually work from the standpoint of a user? How does that actually work?
Okay. And as I just mentioned, the onboarding barrier is a huge problem for the Lightning Network, and it costs so much that it deters a lot of average users to come to the Lightning Network. So our way to solve this problem is we uh, we don't let users to pay the upfront setup fees. Instead, we use DLSP to fund the channel setup first, and afterwards users can repay if they receive enough inbound payment. Then the newcomers can set up a channel first and fast, and they don't have a financial burden in the beginning. So it will make the user experience much better.
Right, right. So they actually borrow from the pool to open their channel, and then they repay it later. Do they have to repay it with a little bit of interest, or is it the same price?
Um, I think in the beginning, if we want to attract a lot of users, uh, we don't need them to repay with the interest, but maybe in the future we want to um, sustain our sustain the way we maybe there will be an interest. Yeah.
Right. So do you believe that this is going to be a significant innovation that's going to help push forward mass adoption of Lightning Network?
Yeah, I think so. Because when every users when they come to the Lightning Network, and the first thing they need to do is to pay several dollars to set up a channel. Maybe over 90% of them will go away. So if in the beginning we can help them set up channel free, so we can maybe truly maintain these newcomers.
Right, right. And
Yeah.
then so the average non-technical user, let's say that this is somebody who has like I think there's really two types of users out there. The third world users where $1.50 is a lot of money, and that's very problematic for them. They might not be able to pay that. It's very obvious this would be a huge onboarding advantage for them. You could have many thousands of people I see that could easily want to use something like this because it's now a very low fee instant solution, which they couldn't afford at all before, and now they can. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and then from the standpoint of just let's say a first world user where $1.50 is still cheap, that's still it's still a fee, and it's still a deterrent to opening something when there's alternatives available out there. So I guess what I'm saying is this really would you say that this really benefits all types of users at anywhere in the world?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. But as you said, it will benefit a lot more for the third world users. Um, Maybe for users in more developed areas, say don't care about the $1.50 setup fee. Um, yeah, but I think if we eliminate the upfront barrier, it will be good for newcomers to come and use the Lightning Network.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just having to traditionally, if you want to open a Lightning channel, you must have Bitcoin first to begin with, which is already a significant challenge for many to have to go through the hassle of going through an exchange and all that. Being anytime you can remove these barriers, I think it's very important. So let's focus on the next one now of stable coins on Bitcoin. What kind of new use cases are you anticipating with being after you've now introduced stable coins to Bitcoin?
Yeah, that's a very good question. We think there's a very specific use case or scenario, and in this scenario, the Lightning Network payment will be very superior, and no other payment method can compete with the Lightning payment. That is the small amount and high frequency payment. Let me explain in an example. Nowadays, if you want to buy an online service, in order to build trust, the seller or the merchant will grant you a free trial period, say 1 month or 2 months. But in the future, I think if we can introduce stablecoin into the Lightning Network, and the Lightning Network can get widely adopted, we can use this kind of small amount and high frequency payment. Like, for example, you can pay $0.1 per second or per minute, and either party, you or the merchant, can seize the transaction at any time. If you are not satisfied with the service, you can just cut off your payment. And when the merchant sees that you have stopped paying, and then he will stop the provision of his service as well. So in such a case, because the payments are made in very small amount and in a very high frequency, so when the payment is seized, there's no damage to both sides, and the people can just if one side stops the payment, then the other side stops the provision of the service. So we think in the future it will be a better way to purchasing online services and other stuff, especially
Right.
Yeah. There's a very heated topic right now. It's AI agent. So in the future, a lot of transactions are made between AI agents. Say I hire an AI agent to do some stuff for me, and someone also hired an AI agent to provide services to other people. So many transactions will happen between AI agents. They're not real people. So it's hard for them to build trust, we can think of a way to help facilitate the transaction to happen between AI agents. That is the small amount and the high frequency payment. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, these are very interesting conversations. I mean, the first one you're talking about, for example, paying with for a streaming video, like say you're watching Netflix, but instead of paying a monthly fee, you could pay a fee per second. Cut it off exactly. If you decide that the movie isn't worth it, you could cut it off right there and stop paying any fees. And that's something that doesn't exist today. And I'd say the main reason it doesn't exist today is because the infrastructure, it doesn't exist to do that. You can't do that with a credit card. It would cost a fortune. You can't pay per second. Because they charge usually something in the United States, they usually charge about 30 to 60 cents, I believe, per transaction, and a percentage of the actual fee itself. And of course, it's also a centralized service. It's not going to be able to scale compared to something like Lightning Network or Fiber Network. And then the second part that you said, I think that's a very strong topic, because that's something that is just emerging. AI agents, we don't fully understand exactly how they're going to interact with each other. But one thing is for sure is if they provide value, their ability to exchange value is also very important. And that's, of course, where payments come in. They are a form of value exchange. So, I mean, this is really, we're really at the edge here of seeing a fundamental reimagining of how value flows and how payments can actually be made, because we now have this technology that can do it for the first time. And so it's difficult to sometimes make these types of analogies and how this is actually going to change the day to day, because there is nothing like that. This is something absolutely brand new.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's take a look at some of the comments here. Sim says the team behind it is doing incredible work and deserves way more recognition. Yes, I absolutely agree with you, Sim. Thank you for saying that.
Thank you.
Let's see. We have Baptsi Dangi asks, when can we expect the product to be launched?
First, I can talk about our roadmap. First, in the first quarter of 2025, we are going to have a token generation event, TGE, and it will be the first TGE in the Lightning Network ecosystem. And after that, we will keep building. The fiber network mainnet will launch. Then together with the Lightning Network, the hybrid Lightning Network will be formed. And I believe in the hybrid Lightning Network, a lot of new things will happen, and there will be decentralized exchanges for RGB++ assets, and the integration with centralized exchange also. At that time, you can deposit assets into centralized exchange via the hybrid Lightning Network. And also, we believe there will also be DeFi or BTC-Fi that will emerge in the hybrid Lightning Network. We will have payment SDKs to allow other applications to interact with the hybrid Lightning Network. So we hope to see a lot of new use cases that can emerge in the hybrid Lightning Network. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so it sounded like over the next couple months you'll have different pieces starting to be rolled out. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. We have another question here from Lucky Block. will there be any kind of integration with .bit, or does that only happen at a wallet level?
Currently, we don't have we don't have any plan to integrate with .bit, but maybe because we are in the same ecosystem, and if it can truly bring some new benefits to the users, why not? I think we can consider it in the future. Yeah.
All right, so something to possibly consider in the future. Okay, so this one looks like a good lead into our next section here. The UTXO Stack token will be called Stake, right? When can that token be used? What can that token be used for? Sell or swap other tokens? So, I mean, this is the next topic we were just going to go into anyway, which is the tokenomics of UTXO Stack. What is the actual name of the UTXO token that's going to be used?
To be honest, I don't. I have no idea about the name of the new token. It's still under discussion, and probably it will be UTXO or Stake. And you can see the announcement in a couple of weeks, I suppose. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
And speaking about the new token, it has a lot of use cases. First, it can be used as early incentives. This new token will be used to incentivize Lightning nodes, liquidity providers, and the overall network activity during the early stages. Second, it can be used as liquidity collateral. If a Lightning node want to borrow liquidity from the DLSP, the node must stake a certain percentage of the token in order to get access to the liquidity in the DLSP. This is another use case. And the third one is is governance. Of course, token holders can take part in the governance decisions, such as asset inclusion in the DLSP or protocol upgrades. And these are the three main use cases of the new token of the UTXO stack. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so when this token comes out, is this going to be tradable on some of the dexes we have, like UTXO Swap?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. In our ecosystem, there are a lot of builders building DeFi infrastructures, including UTXO Swap and other DeFi protocols. Yeah, when our new token comes out, it will definitely be available to sell or swap in these DeFi protocols. Yeah.
Okay. And so just to simplify this for the listeners out there, for the non-technical DeFi user, what's going to be the easiest way for them to profit from using this token?
I think the easiest way is to hold, and as our project grows, as the ecosystem of the Lightning Network grows, as the Lightning Network get adopted by more and more people, I believe the token will be more valuable in the future. And as I mentioned before, if you are interested in earning passive income as an average user, maybe you can be a liquidity provider to the DLSP. And as I said, the yield in the DLSP is very solid because it is from the service fees of the Lightning nodes. It's not investment returns or some kind of DeFi protocol interests. It's service fees, very solid.
Right. So very low risk there in terms of loss and everything, because it's coming strictly from fees. Let's see. There's another question here. What was that issue for El Salvador when they were trying to implement the Lightning Network? I honestly, I don't know what the issue was. I haven't heard of this issue. Chester, do you know what he's talking about on this one?
I don't know what issue. What do you mean by saying the issue? As far as I know, Lightning Network is also used in the country El Salvador. Recently, I listened to a podcast, and the guest just tells his experience in this country, and he said people can use the Lightning Network to buy Starbucks coffee and other stuff. It's very it's very popular in this country. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. We had another question here from Alpha Rex. What happened to the UTXO Stack Babylon partnership?
I don't know if there's such a partnership, but what I can say, Babylon is currently a very big provider of native Bitcoin staking yield, and soon I think UTXO Stack will be another provider of native Bitcoin staking yield, because we got the DLSP. By staking your asset into this pool, you can earn solid passive income. Yeah.
Okay, we have another question from James Hall. James, you're on a roll today. Do you see institutions being interested in this hybrid Lightning network? Is there any institutional interest today?
We are still in a very early stage, and I think first we need to do our job well. We need to build our product, and when people see our project and use our product, when it's widely adopted, then sooner or later there will be institutions notice us, and there will be institutional interest. Yeah.
I have a little bit of a theory on that I'd like to get your opinion on, Chester. So I see institutions are typically a little bit slower moving and slower to adopt new technology. And up until this point, they haven't really been using Lightning Network too much. And part of that goes back to the liquidity problem, which we discussed, which is institutions also typically are moving around very large amounts of money. And that's not really possible today in Lightning Network because of the liquidity problems, which Chester, you mentioned, which is the analogy was if there's an area of a stream that is too shallow, the big boats can't go through. I think that kind of works when you think about the institutional investors. They simply can't use it today the way that they would like to. But every corporation, every company, every person is always looking for ways to save money. And when you talk about something like Lightning Network, this may actually be the fastest and cheapest way that you will be able to move money in the future. I see it as an inevitability that institutions will one day look at this as a technology that they want to adopt. The question is, will they be able to adopt it? Will there be enough liquidity in it? And that's exactly what UTXO Stack is trying to solve here.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, let's see. Is USDT coming to hybrid Lightning Network? So he's asking specifically about the USDT token.
I think it's possible. When we build such an infrastructure and we can get to reach to a lot of Lightning Network users, then maybe we can partner with USDT to introduce USDT to the hybrid Lightning Network. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm hoping for USDC personally. I prefer that to Tether. If here's another question we have from Bitcoin Cadets. If the price of CKB goes up, how will they manage fees? Please, just came to the podcast. So how if the price of CKB goes up, will that in some way disrupt operation? Will that cause any problems?
Cause problem to the hybrid Lightning Network?
Yeah, yeah. I think that's what he means.
I don't think there will be problems. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the fees on Nervos CKB are typically so low in comparison to other ones. Even if the price of CKB went way up, I don't personally see it causing any significant disruption because the fees are so minuscule in comparison, and that has to do. I think this is a topic that's too deep to really go into today, and especially since we're running out of time. But the tokenomics on CKB is what got me into this ecosystem in the first place, because I realized they had made some very significant innovation, and the biggest part of that is splitting apart the actual transaction fee, separating it from the state rent fee, which is not done on other ecosystems like Ethereum, for example. They mix the two, and there's no difference, and that's part of the reason why their fees are so elevated in the first place, is because you're paying effectively. It's not really state rent, but you're paying for storage space, and you're paying this gigantic upfront fee for that, in addition to your transaction fee. And they're mixed together. There's no separation between the two. So anyway, that's why CKB has a huge advantage there. So my opinion is no, it will not significantly impact operation.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep going. We're getting a little bit. I think we can go over a little bit. We are all running out of time. Let's see. Alpha Rex asks, your team will meet a lot of powerful and influential people in Satoshi Roundtable. What will be your objective there? Any strategy to achieve that?
What do you mean by Satoshi Roundtable?
I believe that is a group of Bitcoiners that they have kind of like a meeting. I'm not too familiar with it, honestly.
Yeah. If we can get support from these like Bitcoin OGs, if they can come to use our products and they feel good about our products, that would be a great thing for our team.
Yeah, so always willing to collaborate and discuss, it sounds like. Here, one more question. Eman Perry, does he mean gas fees? I think yes, we were talking about transaction fees and fee structures, gas fees and transaction fees. They are technically different things, but oftentimes in the context of a user, we're talking about the same thing, just to be clear. Okay, so we need to continue on. So maybe you could give us a quick. We already talked a little bit about the roadmap, but for the people who have joined after that, maybe you can just give a quick summary. What are some of the important things to look forward in the roadmap that are going to be coming up?
Okay. The first and the most important thing is a TGE, token generation event, and it is planned for the first quarter of 2025. And yeah, you will see this happen in a few weeks, I think. And next, we will launch a Lightning Genesis airdrop, and it will be the first large-scale airdrop in the Lightning Network ecosystem. We will distribute approximately 5% of UTXO Stack's total token to the participants of the Bitcoin and Lightning ecosystem. Our goal is to target 100,000 Bitcoin addresses, and this airdrop will also happen in the first quarter of 2025. Users who are eligible for this airdrop, users can check their eligibility on the UTXO Stack's official website when the airdrop begins. If you are not eligible, then don't worry. You can also get rewards by participating in other incentive programs. For example, if you register through the Joy ID wallet and you perform some Lightning Network activities such as opening channels, making payments, or just inviting new users to open the account in the Joy ID wallet, you can earn points, and the token reward will be proportional to the number of points you earn. So if you are not eligible for the airdrop, you can still earn the reward by participating in the incentive programs.
Okay, and I'm sorry, was that the Joy ID incentive program? You were talking about the Joy ID points?
Yes, Joy ID wallet.
Okay, I'm definitely glad that I claimed some of those. I should be claiming them more often. So with the airdrop, you went a little bit into that. This is the last thing I think we have time for today. The airdrop. When is the airdrop going to be occurring?
The airdrop will happen soon after the TGE. I think it will happen in a few weeks, maybe next month. But I'm sure that the TGE and the airdrop will happen in the first quarter of 2025. You can stay tuned and wait for the official announcement of the UTXO Stack. Yeah.
Okay. And then, are you able to tell us today how are users going to be able to participate in this airdrop? What do they actually need to do other than, of course, following the channels? They should be following you on UTXO on Stack on Twitter. What else are they going to need to do to actually partake in this?
Technically, you don't need to do anything. You can just follow our social media channels like Twitter or Discord. Because users with eligible Bitcoin or Lightning activity will be automatically included in the airdrop. So you can check your eligibility on the UTXO Stack official website when the airdrop begins. Yeah.
I see. So is this one of those where are they going to be able to go to the website, and if they're not Lightning users, if they've never used Lightning before and they want to take part in this airdrop, are they going to be able to do so on the date that you release the information? Or is this, what I'm asking, is this for people who have used it in the past, or when you publish this information, will brand new users be able to go there and also take advantage of it?
You can pay attention to the official website when the airdrop begins. You can check your eligibility and follow the instructions on the website, and you can claim your airdrop rewards in a few minutes, I think. Maybe you need to send a Lightning Network transaction. Yeah.
Okay, and is there a specific wallet or anything that they're going to need to use to take part in this airdrop?
A specific wallet, I think you need to use a Joy ID wallet. I'm not sure if other wallets like OKX wallet is suitable for this campaign. Maybe you can see the detailed instructions on the website when the airdrop when the airdrop begin. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, everybody make sure you are paying attention to the airdrop website. The link is in the description to that. They're going to have publishing a lot more details. Sounds like Joy ID is going to be a good wallet to use potentially, especially if you're already a user. That's one of my favorite wallets, by the way. If you haven't checked out Joy ID, please do so. It'll take you less than 30 seconds to set up a new wallet. You don't have to write down any mnemonic phrases or anything. It's very easy. Just uses your Face ID or Touch ID. And so anyway, I think we're pretty much just out of time for today. That went by really quick. We had a lot of great questions today. Is there any final thoughts or anything that you have for us, Chester?
Oh, okay. My final thoughts are, I think over the past few years in the crypto industry, we've got DeFi, NFT, or DAO, and so on, but none of them lead to mass adoption. And most people on the earth still have nothing to do with crypto. So I'm thinking about, we need a use case of crypto that can truly benefit everyone. My opinion is online payment is such a thing, because making payments is what everyone needs to do every day. So Lightning Network is doing very well in payments, and it's very suitable to become a global infrastructure for payment. And UTXO Stack's mission is to enhance the usability of the Lightning Network. And I really hope this time we can make a difference.
Yes, well said. I mean, I agree with everything you said 100%. Mass adoption is something that's been yet to be seen. Payments is one of the obvious things. Everybody's paying things for things every day, and this is where this solution in particular, Lightning Network with hybrid fiber network, could just really open the doors for this to finally break through the mass adoption. It would be absolutely huge for our industry, absolutely huge for CKB. This is a very exciting time. So I'm completely looking forward to this. I can't wait to see more details about the airdrop. I intend to take part of it myself. And anybody watching this, I hope that you make sure to follow them follow their Twitter and check out bookmark the UTXO Stack airdrop page. All of this is in the details, the description of the YouTube channel, so that you should be able to find all of this stuff in the future. It's coming out this quarter, so it's going to be very soon. So anyway, I want to thank you again, Chester, for being here today and taking time out of your day. I know it's getting a little bit late your time. You're in is it the UK you're in right now?
I'm based in Ireland.
Ireland, okay. So yeah, it's getting a little bit late where you are. It's midday here where I am. I'm getting ready to go have lunch. But anyway, I also want to thank all the audience members that were here today. Thanks to you guys for asking such a bunch of great questions. What airdrops are? What airdrop are fan at the last moment says, what airdrop are we talking about? I'm sorry, we are out of time, fam, but you're going to have to just rewind it because we just went through the airdrop stuff. But this is all available on YouTube, so anybody can review this if you need more information. Make sure you check out the socials. And anyway, guys, we have to run, but this was a great session today. So thanks, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Jordan. Thank you, everyone.